Hey guys, welcome to ANX Gamecast, level 153. I'm Unbiased Ann, I'm here with Genesis and Glenn. How's it going, guys?
It's going.
It's good, chilling.
I mean, considering everything that's going on,
In the world right now.
it's okay, I guess.
Yeah. Well, what are y'all excited to talk about?
Glenn, what are you excited to talk about? I already
Lots
know.
of things. Lots of things.
No, I already know. No, there's like one thing I already know.
Yeah.
Which one is?
Like always.
What is?
DanDaDan.
Okay. I guess I'm excited to talk about, I guess, a little bit of solo leveling, season 2. What you got?
I am excited to talk about Dragon Ball Z because it's been a while.
And you've been watching Dragon Ball Z for like 8 years.
Exactly.
Every time we do a pod, no matter what year or what month or whatever, you're still watching Dragon Ball
Yeah,
Z.
it's true.
So anyway, before we get started, everybody go hit all the buttons. How about that? Like, subscribe, share the video with all of your friends, and make sure to check out some of our other videos on the channel. What else? Anything else?
I don't think so. I don't think we have any big news.
All right, let's get y'all ready to get in round one.
Yeah, let's do it.
Round one.
Round one in the anime that we are currently watching. I guess I'm going first.
That's a first. I feel like you never go first.
Me? I don't.
I don't remember last time. Who went first last time?
Did I? I did?
I don't know.
I don't know, man. We got to get the pod more often. So that time I got reincarnated as a slime is the current anime that I am watching, and I am currently 11 episodes in. 11 episodes in, and it's just not my thing. Generally speaking, this is not an anime I would ever invest time into. So it's like, well, why are you watching it? Again, anybody who watches this pod knows that I watch certain things on the treadmill. And so I just need something that's like not horrible, but it's just like I just need something to pass the time, and this already has a bunch of episodes out. 50 plus, 60 plus episodes.
Yep.
So that's plenty for me to just put it on. Don't have to worry about it. Like, I'm not flipping through while I'm trying to be on the treadmill. It's just it's not super funny to me. It is lighthearted, generally speaking. This first season, some of the powers and things that they use, some of them are cool, some of them not so much. So it's just like, what do the kids say? Mid?
Mid.
Like it's I mean, it's just like,
It's okay.
it's not great. I don't understand the level of popularity that it has, because it is one of the more popular isekais, fantasy, whatever you want to call it. Even ones that I've seen that are better are not as popular. So it's just I don't understand it. You've seen some of it.
I've seen some of it, and I kind of agree where it's not one I've been able to consistently watch. When it comes to isekais, my isekai level is more like, I'm more towards the Mushoku Tensei type person, or even Konosuba. That's more my flavor, really.
Okay.
But it's not, for me, it's not horrible. It's just nothing I would watch consistently.
Yeah. So when I say put time into it, it's like, I'm not going to sit down on a Friday night with some Pocky and watch this. Sit down, chill on the couch and watch this Friday night, watch 3 or 4 episodes. Like, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Like, I'll watch it when I'm on the treadmill, and if I don't get on the treadmill for the month, then I just won't watch it.
Yeah.
So you saw what, 1 episode?
I saw one.
What did you think about the 1 episode? I unfortunately, the way isekais work, like, you really don't get anything from the first episode.
I was like, when is this going to be over?
Ooh.
I did not.
Ooh.
I didn't like it. Not at all. Now, it started off okay. I was like, okay, like, who's this guy? What appeared to be the main character, 36, never had a girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then it's like, okay, well, right off the bat, here comes the slime. And then I was confused because the slime voice was like a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what? I was just like, what is happening?
Mm-hmm.
I was not digging this at all. Like if I would now we usually when we both are watching like brand new shows, we'll give it. Well, that's his rule that I've just kind of adopted is like at least 3 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, I was like, I'm good. I don't need to see anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just the other thing that's strange about what I've seen is just like he comes from the corporate world, but it just seems like conveniently he knew how to navigate this world perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept reference. It's like a game. It's like a game, but there was no setup that you were a gamer.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I was confused.
It just doesn't. I was just like, okay. I'm trying to just forget that happened, but it's like every step of the way, he basically almost handles every situation perfectly, as like a seasoned gamer would in this situation. And it's just like how.
I see your point on that. It sounds like he acts a lot like Kirito, but Kirito makes sense.
Yeah.
Why? Because he's a
gamer.
He's a gamer
inside of the game that he's playing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's what I was like, is this like solo leveling? Because she was like, so-and-so activated, and this activated, and this, da-da-da. And I'm like, wait, what? I was just like, I'm very confused as to what's happening.
Like I like that aspect of it, but I almost wish they spent a little more time on it. It's just like, oh, I'm in trouble and I need this move, and oh, move is activated. Here you go win and defeat everybody. Oh, okay. It's just like, all right, like there's no real sense of danger, right? I don't actually feel like there's, people are going to be die or anything. Like I don't feel like, whatever. And so it's just like, okay.
Yeah, to my knowledge, I think later on it gets kind of tense.
Okay.
In the later seasons, but it's still not my cup of tea.
Yeah,
it's still not my cup of tea.
So anyway, I will again treadmill. I need to get on more. I need to be on the treadmill enough to finish all the season 1 and season 2 by the end of the week. That's how much I need to be on the treadmill, right? So we'll see. But I will keep watching it. But you don't want to watch it you don't want any more of it. You gonna give it 3 episodes?
Maybe. But I just realized I forgot that I have this statue
Look at that.
right here.
You got slime statues.
Oh yeah.
Which I freaking love that statue.
Well, there you go. You need to at least watch till she pops up.
Well, how many is that? Because I don't know how many I could take.
She's on. I'm on episode 11. I think that character's on there, but she doesn't look like that right now.
Oh,
I think it's her. She has pink hair.
Probably not her.
It's probably not
she
her.
looks just like that when she
Oh,
appears.
okay, yeah. Because there's a pink hair girl that. Because all of the monsters evolve once you name them, and they kind of level up and stuff. So I thought that was her, but I guess it's not.
No, it's not her. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's next? Oh,
Dragon Ball Z.
Whose is this?
Mine.
Okay.
He knows whose this is.
Okay. All right. So what are you watching?
So yes, if anybody's been following this show for any amount of time, you know that it's taken me forever and a day to get here. So we have entered, I guess this is the Great Saiyaman saga.
Yeah.
And it picks up probably about 7 years, I think is what they said, after something like that. There has been like a substantial amount of time that has passed.
I think it's
right.
Like, because Gohan is what 13, 12 when he fights Cell, right?
12, yeah,
He's
something
12,
like that.
So I think it's like
4 years.
4 years.
Oh, 4. Okay. So now we're seeing an older Gohan. He looks to be in high school. Goten makes his appearance.
Okay.
And then anyway, basically what happens from what I've seen so far, he's starting he's starting at this school. Like this is new, right? Because he doesn't know any of these people.
Yeah, he was homeschooled.
Oh, that's right. I knew that. He was homeschooled. That's right. So anyway, he's starting at the school, meets Videl. So I get introduced to Videl, even though I don't know if you know, I've already seen Super. So some of this I already know who these people are. And anyway, it's just kind of like the seeing him become this new superhero, so to speak, and the relationship exactly between your camera's activated. The relationship between Videl and Gohan forming. Like they're not a couple, but they're getting to know each other.
Starting.
Yeah.
So this is like a very long character introductions to Goten, Chibi Goten, Chibi Trunks,
Mm-hmm.
Videl, and older Gohan, and the Great Saiyaman.
Yeah.
It all feels filler-ish.
Oh yeah, I was thinking when we were watching this, I was like, I bet you hate this.
Yeah, it's like one or two where I'm going to save the day, right? And introduce Saiyaman. That's cool, but it's just like every episode is like the same thing. Like there was even an episode that said rescue Videl. It's like what has he been doing the whole time? Like he's literally been doing that every episode, and there's some bad guys, and it's just like I was like, yeah, this is getting old.
No, I will even say, and I like the filler episodes. I feel like we've only watched maybe like 4 or 5, I don't know, of this saga. And I'm like, okay, let's move on. Like, I feel like the same way. And so if I'm feeling that way and I like filler, I can only imagine you're just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I don't like Great Saiyaman.
Yeah.
It's kind of cheesy.
Like it's super cheesy. I mean, it's supposed to be cheesy, but the other thing that I think that unfortunately I think you're missing from this equation, you've seen it, but when this first came out, there was this mystery and built up like kind of thing of how will Gohan be when he grows up. And then you got the glimpse of it from the history of Trunks. So it's almost like, oh, okay, if he's anything like the Gohan in History and Trunks, which is one of my favorite versions of him, maybe my favorite version of him, then okay, cool. But then when you get to it, it's like the complete opposite of the Gohan in History of Trunks. So that might be the part of it that you're missing too, as far as the experience of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Like the only time you saw an older Gohan was the one-armed Gohan. It was like, oh, he's cool. And then this guy pops up.
Yeah.
And it's just a huge letdown.
Yeah, I was a kid when this stuff came out.
Yeah.
So Gohan was my favorite character, up until this point. That's when it switched, when Great Saiyaman, because Teen Gohan for me, when he was fighting Cell, was the pinnacle of Gohan.
Yeah.
And also what he was talking about, like, future Gohan. We got that glimpse, and then all these movies came out of Teen Gohan with BoJack, and like he was just messing up people, and we're like, oh, okay, we're going into like him being an adult, and we get this. And it was like, oh man, like where did our guy go?
Like supreme letdown.
Yeah, like this is horrible. And then it's just like a renewed focus on him, where everything right now is about him.
Yeah.
Right. Everything when he goes home, Gohan, he's dating girls, he's going to school. Like everything is about him. It's just like, can we? And
I think that's another reason I don't like that. I'm getting kind of burnt out on these filler episodes is because it is literally the same thing over and over. There's nobody else that we're looking at, and I'm like, can we incorporate some other people? Because it's just getting redundant.
Yeah. So, but you are committed to finishing Dragon Ball Z?
I am going to finish this.
Okay. And then what are you going to do after that? You're going to watch Super again? You're going to watch GT?
Oh.
Daima?
Oh, yeah. Daima.
Daima
Yeah,
makes
we need to
sense.
watch Daima. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. What's next?
It's me. Yeah, so I've been watching Soul Leveling Season 2.
Okay.
I've gotten very surprised because I was in the middle, I think, when it comes to Season 1. It was great, but it didn't, for me, the hype wasn't there. Kaiju Number 8 for me was like a lot better. But this season, first couple episodes actually brought me a lot back in, just because of I really enjoy the conflict with his human side and his whatever he's turning into now. And for me, that it wasn't really focused on that much last season. It happened like once or twice, but it was like whatever. But this season, it's a lot more. I enjoyed a lot more. But for sure, Soul 11 Season 2, it's going to really right track. I skipped last week's episode because I wanted to binge at least 2 episodes, so I'm going to watch the new ones today.
So I think when we looked, there was like 4 episodes out. 2 were dubbed, and 2 and all 4 were subtitles. So we watched the first 2 just so we make sure we knew what you were talking about whenever you talked about it. It's just, so for me, I would have much rather it picked up right where it left off, which was you had a lot of the A rank, S rank fighters on a helicopter about to go do a mission. And then like you start and it's like, did it not happen? I think they showed something, but it's like I was ready to see them fight. I was ready to see especially after what happened last time they went on this mission or a similar mission, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's almost like you just like, okay, no, we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna do something else, and it's just like,
So I think because this is one of the ones I'm not reading the manhwa, I'm trying to go in like fresh with the anime. To my knowledge, I think that was like a foreshadowing because they're still making the teams to go there. They were showing them.
So you think that?
There.
So that's even after what we're watching now.
Yes,
that's strange.
I think that's what it is. Because to my knowledge, I think the Ant one happens this season or the season 3.
Yeah, that's
still going on.
Yeah, that's kind of strange.
Mm-hmm.
As far as what I've seen so far, it's just less story-based stuff so far, just more action.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was a lot of action in
less
what we
talk,
watched.
more action, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like they're just jumping right into it with the action, and it's like it's cool, but it's like I feel like they're going really fast. The last episode of season 1, you got your first shadow or whatever they're called, and then now all of a sudden
he has a whole bunch.
Boom, back to back, real easy, right? And it's just like, okay, and then you're like introducing characters, and then they're gone, and it's just like this is all happening really fast. What you think about what you saw of season 2 so far?
It's okay, but the thing is, I also don't think that I liked it as much as it was hyped. Like it started off so dope. Oh my god, like that first episode, I was like, what is happening? Yeah, the first 2. I was like, what is happening? And I thought it was going to be so cool. And it was, I'm not saying it was bad, but I was just like, it was okay, you know? So this starting off, I think I'm still just kind of like, you know, it's okay.
Yeah, I don't. I think I guess I'm appreciating the other aspects of it. Like, if we look at the graphics, like the graphics are fine. The action is cool, fine. The music is cool. Like all the default things that I would look at, but the extra element of leveling up is what's dope to me about this, right? But not just any leveling up. Like when I play games, I'm solo dolo. So just the whole thought of solo leveling is dope to me. This is just a dope concept.
Yeah. I'm
hoping that they get more into him leveling up and his skills and what he's learning and what he's lacking, right? Because the end of last season, it was like, oh, I can do this with the shadows now, my new job, but it costs more MP, and I haven't been putting any stat points into the MP, so that's going to cause me to be in a bad situation, right? I like that concept of it because when I play games nowadays, or when I'm able to, I let unbiased and choose all of my stat points and where they go. So sometimes they don't be going in the right spot. I'm just saying. I don't know
what I'm doing.
But it makes the game more challenging. Now I have to figure out a different way to beat this boss or this level because I should have just been using my magic sword and putting more stats into my MP, but she was like, nah, I'm putting in the HP. And it's just like, so now I don't have the right abilities or weapons to fight this boss. So it's just like, I like that. I like that type of conflict. You were talking about his conflict, blah, blah, blah. I like that type of conflict too. Like just, man, how am I going to figure this out?
Now, for the record, I try to get him to help me choose because he knows what he needs.
Yeah.
But he's always like, nope, you're choosing.
That's cool though. I think it makes it more interesting.
Yeah.
Because like any MMORPG I play, I'm just like, I know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having it random for me would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So anyway, I mean, is it as good as the hype? I mean, I think so. Because it's giving us stuff that we haven't seen before, which is hard in 2025 when anime. I just think what happened in episode 2, I haven't really seen that before in an anime. I don't want to spoil it too much because this is real. This is new, right? But go watch episode 2, or if you're gonna watch episode 2, you might as well watch episode 1. But what the way he figured out how to win that battle, I don't feel like I've seen that solution in another anime.
Yeah.
So it's like it's giving us grown folks graphic,
stuff.
right?
Yeah.
Smart, So I think all of that is a breath of fresh air for me, considering that we've had so much slime and My Hero
Picking up girls in the dungeon
and getting girls in the dungeon, and like the more lighthearted stuff. Like I'm ready for some. Give me some adult content.
No, I agree, because I think the closer it gets to my experience with those types of games, the more I'm liking it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why for the first season I was like, because I've played so many MMORPGs, so it's like doing that again. But him having that split decision in the second episode, I was like, all right, that's something that I would probably have to do if I needed to kill this boss, because I needed a little bit extra help.
Yeah, because that was crazy, and it was dope. But then it also opened up this. This is a spoiler. Let me
spoiler warning, because I could probably get into it.
Spoiler alert.
Let me see if I can find it.
Spoiler alert.
It's almost like he was able to see in the future a little bit. And I don't remember that being a topic or a thing in season 1.
No.
Right? But it happened. And it was like, okay, I saw this or whatever. We saw it. Somebody saw it. And it's like, okay, I'm going to do that then.
And then going into it even further, so when I played World of Warcraft in most games, I was a hunter. So when you play a hunter, you could tame different animals. You know what I mean? Not to the same extent of him using like RIs and stuff and like getting all that. But when he killed that guy and he was like RIs, and then he got a super new champion, in my hands in MMORPG, I would be like, oh, I could just do this to anybody and get really strong people. Oh, awesome. I'll just like go around and just do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, seeing that is like, it was really nice. I was like, okay, it's not just NPCs you can do this to. You can do this to people, which is a problem.
Yeah.
Because I could just beat an S rank and get RIs, and then there you go. I got another S rank champion.
Right, done.
But it's almost a situation too, if you can beat an S rank, do you even need to?
I mean,
you see what I'm saying? I mean, it wouldn't hurt to have it, but it's like you wouldn't even really need to. So just for everybody out there, solo leveling, slime, and we'll get into it in the next couple of rounds with DanDaDan and Dragon Ball Z. All that I've made music for it.
Oh yeah.
And it's all on our channel. So if you like J-pop, if you like J-rock, if you like K-pop, if you like these animes, I got theme songs for all of this stuff. So make sure y'all go check that out.
Yeah, check it out. I tell everybody, I'm like, it's for real good. Like,
it's really good.
The music is great.
Appreciate it. Appreciate y'all. Y'all ready for round 2?
Yes.
Round 2.
Quote man.
Oh, my bad. Let's have a conversation about how you feel about Loli Tropes.
All right, so I will just set this up. Me and Unbiased Hand we've never really had a conversation about Loli Tropes in the traditional sense.
I didn't even know what Loli was. I just found out. Anyway, go ahead.
But we saw some things in the current animes that we were watching. We was just like, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think they're Loli Tropes, but that's where it led us to, right? So I'm just going to give some examples. We're going to cover DanDaDan, but there's a scene. It was in the first episode. It was
literally the first episode.
So it was first episode where the main female character, mostly all of her clothes were stripped off, and she was going to be. What word do I want to use? Salted.
Yeah, essayed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Essayed by aliens, right? And it's like, that's jacked up, but not, well, she's like 15, 16. So that was the thing there. And then we watched Solo Leveling at the end of the second episode. There was a known high school girl that he was in the back of a car with. Now we know he's older. We know he's the older brother of he has a younger sister. The sister was in class with this girl, so we know she's in high school. He went to go pick her up from high school, which was weird, and then took her to do a gate, right? A C rank gate turned to red gate. Okay. Well, afterwards, she's now taking a liking to him, which on the surface is like, okay, that's not that big of a deal, but they actually pointed out in the episode. Like the dude that was driving him around was like, yo, you know that chick's in high school, right? And he was like, so, because he was kind of oblivious. He's not really thinking, he's not looking at her like that, but she's looking at him like that. So it's just like, are we okay with that type of behavior? Then watching Great Saiyaman,
Yep.
watching Dragon Ball Z, there was an episode about Gohan going on his first date, which wasn't even with Videl. Like that dog, he's a dog. He's a dirty dog.
How did I know we on another date?
And so Chi was kind of reminiscing about the first date, or what she's calling a date, that she went on with Goku when they were like really, really young. And
like they looked like they were 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah. And I mean, we've probably seen all the old pictures of Chi when she was little. She had no clothes on. And she had the bikini on.
Yeah.
It looks like a bikini with maybe some shoulder pads and the helmet.
But like an adult bikini, not like a child. Like there are little bikinis for little girls, but they're made very differently than an adult woman walking around in a bikini. And it was like an adult woman bikini. It was really uncomfortable.
So it would be different if she wore that same type of outfit now, but we know she doesn't. So it's just like, what is going on, and how do you feel about these things? So I don't know who wants to go first, because again, some of these things are not the traditional Loli tropes. However, I still feel like it's all in the same bag.
Yeah,
it's all in the same. You could nitpick. You could say, well, that's not really that, but this is all the same thing when we start talking about like underage girls and in these situations with older men, even going back to like Sailor Moon times.
Well,
right.
let me go first, because I truly am unbiased. I think
unbiased.
I didn't even know.
Unbiased Dan.
I really didn't know. Well, first of all, I have not watched nearly as much anime as you two have. Okay, because I just started watching anime recently. And I did not know that this was such a controversial topic until he brought it up. We didn't really discuss it, but he was like, I want to talk about this tomorrow. So I started kind of looking some stuff up, and I'm like, oh, this is like a big deal. This is a big topic in the world of anime. And I will say, when we talk about DanDaDan or DanDaDan or whatever, I felt really uncomfortable with that scene with the aliens. I was just like, well, first of all, even the beginning when she was with her boyfriend or whoever, there was some, if I remember correctly, some shots of her
like kind of upskirt,
yeah.
And
I was like,
then not to mention that
so.
he like, what did he punch her in the face? He slapped her, whatever.
yeah,
I think as long as he either punched her or pushed her, one or the other.
Yeah.
She tried kicking him.
right.
Yeah.
We were already seeing some shots, so okay. And so I was like, okay. And then, but that scene with the aliens, I was like, this is super awkward to me, because not to like, obviously she's a child. She's 14, 15 years old if she's a first year high school student. Unless it works, we'll just say 15, because I don't know how their schooling works. And she's just there, spread right open, like with almost nothing on, and they're verbally telling her what they want to do. And I get they're aliens, but I was just like, this is weird. Now it wasn't so bad. We watched not Demon Slayer.
Oh, Goblin Slayer.
Oh gosh.
And I was done.
That first episode?
I was done.
Yeah,
after that
was
first
very
episode, I said,
controversial
I cannot do this. I'm sorry. I know this is a popular anime, but I'm just not. Anyway,
but that wasn't an underage girl, was it?
I don't even know.
Think so.
And see, here's what I was going to get at. So one, yes, and I did notice. Okay.
Not that makes it better. I'm just saying
for
our topic today.
Yeah.
Okay. Just throwing that out there.
I'm trying to like gather my thoughts here. So one, I have noticed, once he brought that up, I was like, yes, I have noticed this. I have noticed this since I started watching anime, that children, little girls, whatever you want to call it, tend to be sexualized. Sometimes it doesn't seem like a big deal to me, and sometimes it does. It's kind of strange. And I think I really had to sit there and think about why sometimes it doesn't bother me.
Okay.
And I think it's because sometimes you can't tell how old a person is. So because it's an animation, sometimes it's not super clear how old this person is, unless unless it's like a very obvious like school show or something, like that they're in school. So I definitely can see where it is something that is discussed, and I can also see where there's like a pass on a lot of stuff. I think this one, it was more bothersome because it was an essay situation. But when we saw the example he just gave about with Chi-Chi, I was like immediately like, why? What is she wearing? Because she was very clearly a little girl, very clearly, like a child. And that was uncomfortable. But anyway, that's kind of my 2 cents on it.
Glenn, what you got on it?
Mine are like, I have like a whole bunch, I think, just because. Okay, so I'm first gonna say this disclaimer: I do not agree with the Loli stuff or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I always like looking at doing like a lot of research, especially because like I write myself and like I need to kind of like understand why these mangakas or people that create these stories do that. When it comes to the Loli stuff, I don't like it in any shape or form. Even with some people are like, well, she's 3,000 years old and the dragon looks like she's blah blah blah, and it's like, that still looks like a child.
Wait, let me ask you something real quick. So I understand Loli. Is Loli specifically when a child, somebody under 18 is sexualized?
Yes, so Loli, so to my knowledge, the definition of Loli is a character that looks like she's like either 13, 14, like that young.
Okay.
But she's older. She's like,
oh, okay.
Like, 21, 22, or like 1,000 years old. And then the other thing, like the DanDaDan thing, that's more fan service. So fan service is more of a like, if you watch Fire Force, in my opinion, Fire Force is one of like the easier ones to kind of check out. There's a character that's there literally just for fan service. She'll be fighting and then her top will fall off.
Yeah.
Or she'll fall over and then somehow I forget the main character's name, but she'll fall into his arms and her pants will fall off, so he's touching her butt.
Yeah.
Like that stuff is more like fan servicey.
But it's adults. Like it's clearly adults.
I don't think she's an adult. I think she's younger, but he's also younger.
Okay.
So they're both the same age, but it still kind of like comes out of nowhere and it kind of like throws. It's just weird.
Yeah.
That's more fan servicey. Or like for Sailor Moon, even Sailor Moon has fan service. Like her transforming, sometimes you can see her, bra and panties. Like that's fan service. And Loli is more of like actually the character from Slime. I don't think they say her age, but she looks like a child and she's kind of wearing, nothing. And
there's a more grown person involved, right?
She's just there. Nothing really happens to her.
Okay.
She's just wearing like bra, panties, maybe some shoulder pads, and she's 1,000-year-old dragon.
Okay.
That looks like she's 12.
Okay. I get it now because Lolita is used for like more American when there's a young girl involved that's sexualized. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, and then like the DanDaDan one, it was I read the manga, so it was actually a lot more uncomfortable in the manga. In the anime, they make it a lot more like she's fighting it. In the manga, it was a little bit more. It was weird. But I did a little bit more research to understand like why all that happened, why they added that to the story, and it was actually because a lot of their cultural stuff, a lot of business people. If you notice, a lot of the aliens are like in the suits and they look like more business people, and it's because business people take a lot of advantage of kids in high school or maybe early adulthood and stuff like that. So that's why he wrote it like that. And if you notice, Turbo Granny, I think they do mention it in the first or second episode, her yokai, her ghost, she's a ghost that is formed because of women that were assaulted. So when the phone call happens with Okarun and he gets taken over and apologizes, she comes through the phone because Momo is being assaulted. So that's why that scene is kind of there. So Turbo Granny heard what was going on and came through the phone to actually save her. So that's why that's like, it's still weird, don't get me wrong, because like even other stuff happens in the season and in the manga that's still super weird.
Yeah.
But that's kind of why that happened. And even like from a writer's aspect, it's really hard to, because there's a couple characters in my stuff that stuff happens to when they're younger. For example, like Medusa. Everyone knows the story about Medusa, and it's like, how do I address this in my writing without it being controversial and it doing everything? So I feel like it's a fine line and everything, because there's fan service like High School of the Dead. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's High School of the Dead. It's funny on some of the occasions. So I mean, like,
no diddy.
But it's a fine line.
Yeah.
I think. But Loli stuff, I've never been a supporter of that.
So I don't watch the subtitle version of animes. So, and a lot of times things can be changed, on purpose or lost in translation, right? So I don't really know if they're doing the same thing in the Japanese versions, but the fact that from the stuff that I see, the fact that they're trying to get around it by saying someone is 3,000 years old, the fact that they're trying to get around it by replacing a guy being infatuated with this girl who looks like she's 8 with a girl infatuated with a girl who looks like she's 8, and that's supposed to make it better. So like there's a knowledge there that this might be weird. But again, I don't know if that part of the story is part of the Japanese story. You know what I mean? That could just be the part of that. They just could be dubbing it in that way for us. I don't know if the girl in the Japanese version is actually 3,000. Usually, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. But I don't know that, right? So the Loli stuff is weird. But here's what I will say. This is what I will say. I guess one of the hot takes of the day. A lot of the people who have the problem with the Loli are also the same people who tell me that they only watch subtitle because they want the original experience the way it is.
That's a funny take. I never thought about that.
I want the closest to I want the authentic stuff, right? The original voice actors, they were acting this out the way that they made it in Japan, right? Blah blah blah. This, to me, this is the same difference. So on one hand, you can't tell me I want subtitled. I don't want it dubbed, but then I also don't want this. So basically, it's like if you're down for the original art, quote unquote art that's being created here, then you can't just pick and choose what you want and what you don't want. If you're really saying, oh, I respect the original creator and how they intended this to be viewed and blah blah blah, right? Artistic, yeah, then you can't say I don't want this though, because there's some people that go as far as they could take some of those scenes out, right? Because we've seen edited anime back in the day. Dragon Ball Z was heavily edited for TV. Sailor Moon, but so that's my only thing. It can't be both. So either you like it or you don't like it, watch it or you don't watch it, right? I'm not sure if I know anyone who actually likes the Loli stuff, but it's like it's almost like people keep coming up with excuses to continue to be able to watch stuff that has it in it. So it's either you take a stand and you don't watch it, or be quiet about it. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but it's almost seems like people, like, again, are making excuses to continue to watch shows that they like that have this in it.
Yeah. Also, I think it's a cultural thing, which is weird about this subject, because, like, at the end of the day, like, we get to watch anime because Japan's making it.
Right.
And the culture in Japan, I think the legal age of consent's like 14 years old.
Really?
I think so. I could be, don't quote me. It's young. It's not 18.
Yeah.
Unless they just
Wait,
changed
but
it.
you're quote man.
Right.
Don't quote me on this
so
one.
we're quoting everything you say.
But I mean, it's like a cultural thing. So like to them, it's normal.
Yeah.
And to us, it's like, nah, that's weird. And they're like, I mean, we're making it and y'all enjoying it. So either don't watch it or shut up.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are we supposed to say? So that's why it's super, like, it's a weird line about two cultures trying to understand each other.
It is strange. And I think it's probably, yes, I think it's cultural, and probably it's that it's established. Anime's just always been like this to a certain degree, as far as, and I'm more about just talking about just the sexuality of girls. Even if it's like with people their own age, it's still like, if we were watching this in America, it would be like, this is uncomfortable that we're looking at a 13-year-old girl and her boobs are falling out. Like, that's real not cool. But if it's an animation and it's anime, it's for some reason like, okay. And
I feel like, weirdly enough, I feel like yes and no on that one, because Euphoria is a big thing, and they're all like, what, like in high school, and we're like, I never watched it, but to my knowledge, they're like,
they're supposed to be high school people.
Yeah, they're high school.
Oh.
I don't know what that is.
But is that on HBO? Because I always
think it's HBO.
I feel like HBO is also in this weird realm, not the same realm as anime, but it's just like you know, if there's something being sexualized on HBO, it's going to be something weird. It's going to be something weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not going to be your norm stuff. And I'm not talking about Skinamax. I'm not even sure they still play that stuff. I'm not talking about those movies. I'm talking about like TV shows and docuseries that they do on sex. It's always going to be something a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they get a little pass.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I didn't know that they were kids.
Mm.
I mean, and that could be also like this could turn into a whole nother discussion because we have had, Genesis and I've had the conversation just in general about how America views sexuality or girls or relationships. I can't remember, but we've had discussions about there is a cultural thing that's been pushed down years about even nudity. Like nudity is a really big deal here, right? In Europe, it's not. You know, I think you could go into a 7-Eleven and see like a Playboy, like kids can see it. It's not a big deal. So it's cultural definitely probably plays a role in this. But what do you think
about
this? Wait, have you even gone?
Yeah, I've been talking.
Okay, I didn't know if you gave your like your official stance.
Well, my official hot take is more for the people who talk out of both sides of their mouth.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Like don't say you want to stick to the original artwork of the creator, but then also start picking and choosing what you don't like.
Yeah.
Like if you really want to take a stand. Don't watch it.
Well, and I think my thing is now, like the more we talk about this and I think about it, and again, I don't know why this is. It doesn't, the fan service in general doesn't bother me. But I think where it makes me uncomfortable, I think this particular, it was more about the essay. That's what makes me super uncomfortable. And then when you're talking about technically a child, it just is even worse. So yeah, I think, I'm probably biased because I am a woman, and that is just, it's a more sensitive subject.
So let's flip it. I just had this thought. Let's flip it just a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes they try to play this off as, usually with girls or women are looking at the Loli trope as like a doll. So how do we feel about that? Because that's also a situation where you're not even respecting this person as a human being. Like I feel like that's another way they try to get around it. But once you wrote it in there, you wrote it in there. They're looking at it like, oh, this is a doll. This is something for me to play with. Not this is a person, and maybe I should stop squeezing it up against my boobs.
Yeah, I think it's just the context of the anime. It depends on the context of the anime.
Because I think in DanDaDan, Momo and Okarun were both essayed. Like, he doesn't, like, we all forget, like, we saw what happened to Momo, but he did not have his dong. So Turbo Granny got it. Yeah. Somehow. So, I mean, like, it technically actually happened to him. Yeah. Versus when Momo, it kind of was like an almost type of thing. Right. Which it was uncomfortable both reasons, but his is more always a joke. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, he's still missing, like, spoilers. He's still missing a nut. Yeah. So,
yeah, so that's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see what comes of this. We'll see if we'll see what happens with this video, and we'll see if we come up with any more conversation pieces around it. We can revisit it as we watch more animes as a group.
Yes.
Y'all ready for round 3?
Yep.
Round 3.
Quote man. No, I'm just joking.
DanDaDan.
All right. Y'all don't. My camera is just acting crazy. All right. So we're gonna review DanDaDan, however you pronounce it. Unfortunately, there is a theme song in the beginning that pronounces the name over and over and over, different ways over and over and over. So I was like, okay. But we're gonna do the first 10 minutes of this spoiler free. Who wants to go first?
Oh man, spoiler free.
Yeah, I can't talk spoiler free.
So I know it's hard. So let's just go over a few things here.
Okay.
So this season 1. How old is this? How long ago did this come out?
2 months?
6 months?
Oh, 6 months when it started.
Yeah.
I think it was.
I think it ended in December.
It did. I think it started in September.
Yeah, I'm about to say probably September.
August?
Yeah.
All right. So this is fairly new.
Yeah.
We have Momo. We get introduced to Momo, the main character. Well, she's kind of the starting off main character, right? First person we meet.
The female protagonist.
Yeah. Yeah. And then she's in high school and she meets Ken, what is it? Nakatura?
Okaroon.
And I guess they develop kind of a friendship. I don't know. They have like a love-hate thing going on.
Well, it's supposed to be spoiler free. So let's do it like this.
Okay, you do it because I always mess up the spoiler free.
Okay. High level. Start off here. Did you I know you like the show. Did you like the show?
I did like it.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
What specifically did you like about it?
It's funny because I think you mentioned it earlier. I think it is like the relationship aspect. Like there's a lot of interpersonal stuff happening, including somewhat of a romance. It's kind of strange. It's like I
think strange is a perfect way to explain this whole anime.
Yeah, it does.
No, this anime is weird. It's off. Okay, it's a little off. But I feel like there is a truly human aspect to this. Like there was an episode that had to do with somebody's mom, and I mean, it just made me cry. And I was just like, man, there was a lot of pieces that even though the show was weird, it was like, there was just this interpersonal human aspect to it that I feel like I was like into.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say I did not like this anime.
I knew you didn't. I could tell.
It's just, man. So I'm a little bit older than you, but I remember a time where, so it could just be a personal thing for me. I remember a time where anime wasn't mainstream, and there are animes like this that would, I think, probably set the anime world back 10 years.
Really?
Yeah. Because it is so strange, it is so weird. We talked about in the last round. We talked about the essay stuff with underage girls, and it's just too many, and not even getting into the stuff with the grandma and Okaroon. Like there's just too many things at every level that is just so weird. The monsters look grotesque. They look weird, which there's aliens. The aliens look strange. The fact that we're talking about aliens and ghosts. Then there's another aspect of the show that I just don't like, which is everything kind of happens too fast. It's things just don't build properly in this. Things just seem to happen. And
that's a fair point.
It doesn't really, it's never really explained. It doesn't make sense. Even their relationship. Like even though they try, I feel like they try to show a lot with their relationship, it still doesn't make any sense at the end of the day.
Really? I don't know. It makes so much sense to me.
No, it just makes no sense, because not only does it not make sense that she would be like talking to him at all, the way he treated her, it definitely doesn't make sense that they would continue to talk to each other. So it's just, the other thing about this, the graphics aren't consistent, right? From an artistic standpoint, like there are certain moments where it's like, oh, this looks dope, but then it quickly fades away, and it's like I'm expecting more for something that only has 12 episodes. Right, I'm expecting at least for it to be consistent. It doesn't have to be movie quality all the way through, but obviously I've seen y'all shown that y'all can do a high level, right, animation here, and then it's just for those scenes. It's just for like 10 seconds of I'm doing my power, I'm doing my move, I'm doing my and then it goes back to looking mid.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a miss for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just too weird. It's just too strange, and that's just my first impression of it.
I do want to add real quick before Glenn goes that I was at first after especially after the first episode.
Yeah, which is understandable.
I would say after the first maybe 3 episodes, maybe I'm not exactly sure. I was kind of like, this is weird. Like I didn't like it at first. I really thought this is real weird. But at some point there was a turn, and I don't know when that was, but at some point something turned and I started liking it more. Mm-hmm. So what'd you think?
I mean, I liked it. I mean, I think
we know you did.
Everyone knows I like it. For me, I grew up on Fully Cooley.
Yeah, I was gonna say it has a Fully Cooley feel to it.
I was a Fully Cooley person growing up, so I mean, like for me, the speed wasn't weird. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, okay, this sounds about right. And it's what got me into it is the action, how fast it goes, and it is the romance. For me, it's probably one of the most natural, like, romantic, because I'm not really into romantic anime. It kind of like just like whatever.
Yeah.
But this is probably the first anime I've ever watched just for Okarun and Momo, because for me it does really feel natural that she kind of go through the motion. The guy only wants to be with her just to kind of sleep with her and use her.
Yeah.
She's like no, and she puts up a fight, walks off, and then she sees somebody else in that same mindset of being picked on, like she was just picked on. Mm-hmm. She goes and protects him, and he gets the validation of someone protected me, so I'm gonna go talk to him. So they both give each other strength. That's why it made sense to me that all this stuff was going on, because it's like a push and pull. They always give each other something, and when someone's mad, they talk about their feelings. It's not I'm mad, we're gonna have a big fight, and we're gonna talk about it 2 seasons later. It's no, you need to communicate, because I don't know why you're angry.
Yeah.
And if you tell me, I'll tell you what really happened and blah, 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 blah.
So I'm glad you said that, because it sparked something else for me. Mm-hmm. It is fan service to the highest degree. And what I mean is, I'm not talking about the traditional sense of fan service, which they have that too, right? With the grandma, with her, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm talking about fan service from the standpoint of at every step of the way, with their powers and or their relationship, they seem to give the audience exactly what they want, and that's a problem for me.
Really?
Because to me there's nothing natural about these two people being friends or love interest or whatever's happening. There's nothing normal about 2 high school students being able to properly communicate and articulate their emotions. That's not normal. Right, there's nothing normal about that, and
I can see that point.
And then we're not even talking about ghosts and aliens. Like that's a whole separate.
That's a whole separate. Yeah, that's a whole separate thing. Yeah.
But there's nothing normal. It's like the most normal thing about the show is their relationship, but there's nothing normal about it.
I think
so. It's just kind of like that. But the writers are giving you like you want them to see each other when they're looking for each other. But they're right there and they're not, but you want them to see it. So it's like, oh, okay, fine, I saw you, right? You want them to, like you said, communicate the feelings. You want him to go back when it's just like bye, and then they like, no, you don't say bye like that. That's not what you would say to a girl that you like. That's not how you would do this.
Well, because I don't think he liked her at that. I don't think he liked her at that point. Well, I think because he was like, oh, that's my friend.
But even a friend, if you don't have a friend, that's not how you would treat a friend to keep the friendship going. You wouldn't just like walk off and be like, all right, have a nice life. Right. So the fans are like, I wish they would have done that differently. And then it's like, they did it differently.
But there are several instances where they do act really immature.
They do, yeah.
They do act like what you would expect a 15-year-old, especially when she gets embarrassed. Like there's, this isn't huge.
Spoiler free.
I know, right?
I mean, there's just okay. So there are times though where she kind of shuts down and starts being mean because she feels a certain way and she doesn't know how to deal with those feelings. So I do think there is a sense of immaturity there as well, and what you would expect a 14, 15-year-old to act like. You know, So, and we've seen this in so many. We've seen the formula in movies, plenty of American movies, where you have the somewhat popular or kind of tough girl pair up with the complete opposite, like, or somehow they end up together, not together. I'm not saying like together like a relationship, but somehow they end up in each other's world.
Well, I guess that's what's weird about this, because she is usually the tough girl and the popular girl aren't the same girl. So they're almost combining two characters here. And usually even we might see a transformation over time with a long period of time, like Deku, right? You usually don't see the wimpy guy also save the day, like all in the same breath, right? Even Gohan, get it, he was a child, but everybody thought Gohan was going to save the day all the times along the way. He never did, right? But in this one, he's like, it's like fused together. It's like crying Gohan mixed with teen Gohan. And he finds a way to help save the day, right? So it's just like, and that's probably another part where I say it just moves too fast, right? It doesn't have the proper character development. I don't think it has the proper character development. Like even the first episode, maybe we can spoil the first episode, because it's about, there are aliens that exist, there's ghosts that exist. One of them doesn't think the other exists.
Right, exactly.
So they go on a little mission, like, I can prove to you, if you go here, you'll see a ghost. Yeah. If you go here, you'll see an alien. And it's just like, there's no mystery involved. It just happens.
Like right away.
Right away.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, it was a little fast. It probably did move a little fast. Because it was like immediately they're on this mission. Yeah. And it's like, okay. And wait, we found it right away.
And so it seems like every single episode of this season 1, almost every single episode, was just character introductions. And I don't necessarily want to say character development, because I don't like what they did with character development. There was a relationship development between the main two characters, but character development, sometimes you introduce a new character over 1 or 2 episodes, and then they don't even show them again. Like they're not in the next 2 episodes. So it's just like, why did you get me invested in this, and then you don't even then you kind of take them out. So it's just kind of like, it just seemed like they were just doing random stuff. So almost every other episode, I would say they were seemingly introducing new characters, right, and introducing new characters. So I would say, just generally speaking, I would expect season 2 to be drastically different. Drastically different, because you don't have this constant introduction of characters. Right, so you could just get to the get to. All right, we met our 10-minute quota.
Oh, was it? Okay.
So now we see, that's not hard. It's not hard. So now we can actually get into some spoils, if there's some spoils that you would like to spoil.
If there's some spoils you would like to spoil.
Yeah.
I didn't like the first episode. I didn't like the last episode.
No, it was trash.
No.
Last episode was straight garbage.
Because like I was wondering how they were gonna like
end it.
Yeah, because I read the manga. I read it every Monday when it comes out.
Well, they didn't end it.
They didn't.
Well, I mean, in the season is what I mean.
Well, but I wouldn't call that like an ending.
Yeah, no,
it was just an ending, because it was the last episode.
It was, because like the next arc in the first couple of chapters of DanDaDan, it's pretty much the show. Very fast, very spark. And where they ended was the very first real, in my opinion, real arc of the show, and it's long. Well, decently sized long compared for DanDaDan. So I mean, like, it makes sense where they ended it, but I didn't like it because I know where it's going. Yeah. Because Gigi's character becomes a lot more of a bigger character. So
who's Gigi?
Gigi is Momo's childhood friend. Yeah. And pretty much the nail in Okarun's foot, who likes Momo more. So I mean, like, he becomes a bigger character.
That guy.
So even that relationship was weird, because I originally thought that he was not a threat, because how can I put this the PC way? I felt like he would be more interested in Okarun than Momo. If you get my drift.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So it's just like, I don't think he's a threat. But then it was like, no, he clearly was a threat. So it's just as far as the relationship. And so I was like, oh, okay. So yeah. But so here's my problem with the last episode. It was I say is super strong, and they put her in another situation where SA is about to go down. However, I didn't feel like she was in danger because not only is she super strong, but they keep finding their ways to beat the aliens or the ghosts, right? The yokai, the whatever they call it. So I didn't really feel like she was like in real danger. Like it'd have been different if they would have, you know, hit her upside the head with something and she was bleeding out and she was like face down in the water. I was like, oh no, like trouble. But no, they were just like coming after her. It's just like whatever. But then two, you introduced the new character, Gigi. And then you take me to his house. I'm watching the show, right? Take me on this trip to his house to help get the ghost out or whatever, this haunted or whatever. And then they make the hole in the wall. They find something in the wall and whatever. And it's just like, oh my God, what is that? I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care. Yeah. I don't care about if Gigi makes it. Honest, at this point, I don't care if Gigi makes it. I don't care if the house gets destroyed. I don't care if the town gets destroyed. I don't care about any of this because you didn't properly set it up. And I don't actually think Isa is in danger. Like I think she can kind of handle herself a little bit or be able to get out of the situation. So for those two things to be the cliffhanger, I was like, this was whack as hell.
Yeah.
Like this is lame as hell.
It was just a setup. That's why I'm very happy that season 2 comes out this year. Because I think it had to, because if it was another like 2 to 3 years, I don't think the interest would be there.
No.
It wouldn't, because where they ended it was not, it was the only ending they could do, because no matter what, it was going to feel like this. It was either they had 12 episodes or 24 episodes. So they picked 12. So.
The other thing that I would say about this show is, I know you say you see a lot of stuff about their relationship online. You know what I see on my end? I don't see anything but people dancing to the intro song.
Yes.
Oh,
that's
I love that intro song.
I mean, I love the intro song.
That's
too.
all I see. I don't see anything. I haven't seen one person in my feeds say that, oh, DanDaDan is dope. You should watch it. I like this show. I can't wait to watch the next episode. I can't wait for next season. I don't see that at all. All I see is people trying to rap the song, sing the song, dancing to the song, cosplaying as the characters, right? Don't get me wrong. All the character design, the art design for everything is cool. The grandma looks cool. I say the way she dresses looks cool. Like everything, even the little cat, Turbo Granny cat, right? All the stuff looks cool, aesthetically pleasing, and people want to cosplay that. That part is dope. The song, the intro song is dope, right?
Yes.
The animations for the intro song is dope, but that doesn't translate to good anime. The show still has to deliver, and to me, the best part of the show is the character design and the intro. That's a problem. That's a problem for me when that is the best part of your show.
So why don't you like it? I mean, I know you said it moves too fast and like you didn't like the character development, but overall, once all said and done, what did you not like about this show?
Well, like I said, I didn't like the graphics. Overall graphics, because they weren't consistent. I don't like the lack of character development. Okay. I really don't like the SA stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Whether we're talking about Okaroon or ISA, either one.
Yep.
I don't necessarily like the overall story. It seems to be lacking an overarching story, an overall story. Like it seems like the overall story is their relationship.
Yeah.
That's what,
and it's just like I don't care.
Yeah, I think if this anime came out during when Toonami was big and anime was coming out weekly, it would be, you would like it, because so much happens in these next couple of seasons that are important. It'll probably change how you see season one.
I mean, it can. I'm open for it to getting better. That doesn't mean I will like this more. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know, for example, Cell Saga was better than Garlic Jr. Saga. It doesn't, like, even though stuff is being set up, or I'll take that back. Android Saga versus Imperfect Cell Saga versus, right? Some of those were better than the other. once you get the whole story of Cell is coming and the androids aren't really the threat, it doesn't really make those sagas better. Like now that you got the rest of the story, so it's just kind of like this is still what it is. Yeah, a little bit. It's all again the main thing. So that'll be my main thing. There's no overarching story. There are just things that are happening, and then it's all. This first season was all character introduction.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
and some character development, and that's it. That's not enough for me. And like I said, there was no true cliffhanger. There was no true ending to season 1. Like it just like things just keep happening, and then it just stopped. And it's just like this seems. Not just the story, but the whole thing seems to be rushed. Like everything about it just seems to be just kind of thrown together. And it's just like, here it is. Here's a cool concept, and we're not gonna really take our time to develop it. We're just gonna do this and then see what happens. Because we think it will be popular. And it is.
Yeah, I do think it's kind of all over the place with the story, but I think that the relationships, there's something about the relationships that kind of, they do really well to me. Like, especially the relationship between Momo and, what's his name?
Oh, Okarun?
Okarun.
Ken.
Yeah, I just want to call him Ken. There's definitely something there that is kind of like, what's happening here? What's going to happen? What is this going to turn into? There's something, but I don't disagree with the fact that it did feel rushed and there was a lot of random things kind of going on, and everything was kind of working as intended, like immediately. Like everything was just kind of like,
like the stuff, like the underwater stuff at the school. Oh man, I was about to fall asleep.
No, yeah, I didn't love that episode at all. I did not like that episode.
I was like, well, it was 2.
Yeah,
it was 2 episodes where they were kind of doing the stuff at the school, and I was just, I didn't enjoy those episodes.
No, that one I was very confused. I'm like, what is going on? I got really lost. Yeah. So I didn't really like that episode or episodes, whatever, the underwater thing.
But as far as like individual characters from what they show me, I say, I don't like Okarun at all.
Really? I like Okarun.
No,
I like Okarun. I'm an Okarun person.
No, I don't like him at all. I like the grandma.
I love the grandma.
Grandma's cool.
Grandma's hot, and she doesn't look old at all. It's like, okay, you have white hair, okay, but everything about her is like, grandma's kind of hot.
It's like, I'm not saying that I like Gigi, but I like him more than Okarun.
I do not. Oh my God, he gets on. So when he first walked in the door, I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
And he talks.
And then he talks, and I'm like, okay, you're annoying. Like, you're really annoying.
Yeah, but I think he toes the line like really, really good. Where like it seems like he's annoying and arrogant, but then at a certain point, depending on how you respond, it'll just stop. So that's kind of what I like about his character. It was like, oh man, like I didn't know you were acting. I didn't know you were gonna respond like, well, I didn't mean it like that. Like he instantly becomes humble. And so it's just like, okay, it's like, I don't love the character. I just really dislike Okarun.
Really? I like Okarun.
And again,
I do. I like Okarun.
And I don't know if he's the main character or if they're co-main characters.
Yeah, they're
but again, if I don't like the main character, it's going to also be hard for me to get into.
So what do you like about him?
I like Okarun because, I mean, like, for example, him and Gigi. I like going in depth and stuff. I think Okarun doesn't understand how much confidence he has in what he's able to do for other people, in the sense of like for example, Gigi might have this persona, but Gigi gravitates to Okarun because Okarun doesn't understand how much confidence Okarun has. You know what I mean? Okarun is able to be himself and do all this extra stuff, and then the stuff you like about Gigi is real Gigi, but we don't get to see that because he has this persona of what? That's his persona he gives to people, thinking that he like to make friends. But when Okarun does it, it's supernatural, and that's what Momo likes. Momo likes that other stuff, the confident Okarun. That's why I like him. I like his character because like I know everything in general. I think it just brings me back to high school in general. Like their relationship, talking to people, doing all of that. I think all the characters are a mixture of friends I know, how all my friends grew up, how I grew up, and stuff like that. And that's why I like it. But I like Okarun.
One thing I like about Okarun is that he may be like a nerd, but he still sticks up for himself. Like he's not a pushover. Like from day one, he's still gonna like buck up to her, you know, and kind of catch an attitude back. Like I kind of like that about him, and I'm thinking she does too. Yeah,
and I think it's a compliment because like once people were talking about her, everyone was like, "Yeah, she sleeps around, she does this, she does that," and he was like, "No, I'm not."
Yeah,
who's saying that? I'm gonna cut that off right now. No one's gonna be saying that about her.
Yeah,
and it's vice versa. Like in the same episode, after she kind of did the thing, somebody's talking smack about Okarun, and she handles that situation. So I mean, like that's why I like it. It just the back and forth is really nice.
I think the other, I don't know what you said, something that sparked it for me. The other thing that's kind of unrealistic is I say is that she's not the most popular girl in school, but it's very clear that she's a popular girl in school.
Yeah, yep.
And it also is very clear that her friends are also popular girls in school.
Yes.
They're not just average girls at school. They also seem to be Team Okarun.
Yes.
I say for sure.
Which again is unrealistic. Like again, that's another, I call it fan service, where it's just like, man, it sure would be nice if like her friends, who probably generally speaking in something like this would be shallow and would be like, ill, why are you even talking to him? It would be nice if they took up for him.
And they did.
Then next thing you know, they're just randomly taking up for him. It's just like,
I don't know.
Okay.
I know it just seems so natural to me because her friends. Because I guess I'm so used to that trope of the main character liking a girl and then the girl's friends being like, "Ew, why are you doing that?" I've seen so much anime where that happens, and in this one, it's refreshing that you actually have some healthy friends that are like, "Well, this guy makes you happy. Why are you being weird?"
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No,
is that weird?
It's good. It's a good message. It's just not.
You're saying it's unrealistic.
It's just not realistic.
Yeah, because in most cases, like you said, most of the animes you've seen before, any American movie we've seen before, when you have the storyline of the popular girl and the dorky guy, the girl's friends are always like ill or, you know, kind of mean to him.
See, I think the other thing that I guess I don't like about Okarun is like, I say, because I always like the feisty character. I call it like the Vegeta character, right? She's Vegeta. Right, prideful, strong,
mouthy.
Right, yeah. Okarun, generally speaking, is not strong, and when he transforms and he becomes strong, well, first off, it's only on a limited basis, so that's whack. But then two, it's also not him. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like these are her powers that she's controlling, however they were unlocked or however she got them. This is like him kind of being taken over by something else. It's not him anymore, right? And,
that's true.
And so it's just like I see those as kind of two separate things. Grandma also strong, right? Strong, funny. I like her. I like Turbo Granny the cat.
I do too.
Like,
I love that cat.
Yeah, like I didn't like Turbo Granny at all.
At first.
No, but then once you became the cat, I was like, no, I like that.
A lot of people felt like that.
And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, you're not going to be in the next 2 episodes. It's like,
oh, she isn't in the last episode, right?
I think the last episode, and there was another episode where it's just like you were just kind of in the background.
I love that cat.
As opposed to you were just like something that was in front of the camera talking, helping solutions, going to school with them to find balls and nuts, no Diddy. And then all of a sudden it's just like, okay, no, you can just be in the background somewhere. So it's just like, so, but yeah, those are my favorite like characters so far.
So
yeah, I agree with Granny.
I have a question that maybe I missed it. I never really understood what happened here. So when season 1, I mean not season 1, episode 1, when Momo and I can't remember Okarun are first interacting, she keeps talking about this Ken Nakamura, whatever his name is. But then somehow he's Ken Nakamura. Like I got very confused on what exactly is happening there.
So so in Japan, because I think he's a real person. To my knowledge, he's a real person. Ken Takakura is he's like an action star.
Oh, okay. In real life?
In real life.
Okay.
He's like a Brad Pitt,
Okay.
essentially. And she wants a guy that's like that, like super stoic, says the same lines, all that. That's why she dated her ex, because he looked like her, like him.
Okay.
And Ken, even right now, even in the manga, like it's not a spoiler, we don't know why he just has that name. We just assume like Ken makes sense, but his last name makes no sense. So he just happens to have the same name and last name as the person she likes.
So why are we calling him Okarun if his name is Ken?
She calls him Okarun because when she says Ken, she flips out.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
She's like, that's not your name or
So,
whatever.
so again, that's also the again, I'll just call it fan service again,
Mhm.
where it's her getting the bloody nose and falling out of a chair. It's usually a guy.
It's usually the guy.
It's
Mhm.
usually a guy, usually a nerdy guy, usually a dirty old man,
Mhm.
Master Roshi, right?
Mhm.
When there's something happening that I can't take it, my nose is going to start bleeding and I'm
Mhm.
going to fall out the chair. But she does it whenever he does these certain things or says
Mhm.
these certain things. The other thing that's like slowly happening is his not transformation into his powers, but his transformation as a person as far as his physical appearance.
Mhm.
Like that's something that's happening
Mhm.
at a snail's pace, unlike solo leveling where he just
Mhm.
right. But they kind of every step of the way they'll give you a little bit. Why is his hair different now? And they
Mhm.
talk about his hair. Well, I'm assuming that he in season 2 he's going to probably be a little buffer because he's working out at lunch every day,
Mhm.
right? So there's that stuff that's happening with his appearance that I'm assuming that she will finally look at him as him and like him for him,
Mhm.
right? Versus right now I have to be in this situation with you because of the situation, and I kind of like your persona,
Mhm.
your transformation, whatever. I like that person,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Romantically,
Mhm.
like I don't necessarily think that she liked him romantically in this season 1. Him. Like
I think
him.
I think it's like if we're going from like 0 to 100, I think she's at like 25.
Yeah,
or
and that's
like
40. That's not a lot.
maybe.
25 is not a lot.
Yeah, no. I think it's like there's
Like, it's
starting to
getting
understand.
there.
It's
Yeah,
getting
something
there.
is
It's getting there.
forming.
It's forming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't think like if he just got the balls, which he doesn't have any.
Mhm.
If he just got the balls and was just like, "Yo, will you date me?"
Mhm.
I don't think she would have said yes.
I don't
Really,
know.
at any point.
That's actually a good.
I don't feel like she would have said yes at any point during this first season.
I don't know. I think she might have,
I-
or at least
I-
thought about it.
I think she might have thought about it until
Mhm.
Gigi showed up. How about that? I think the point where she may have considered it,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, here's this guy.
The only reason I would say I'll have pushback is when he went to go work out again, and she found him, and she was like, "Oh, I have brought you some food. I can feed you," and stuff like that. That's not you just don't say that to a friend. Like, I'm not going to be like, "Oh, I can feed you while you're working out," like to my female friend, like, and vice versa. And then when Gigi came, she was like a little bit annoyed until he got like the Pocky or something like that. Like, I wanted some alone time.
All that took was a snack from the corner store.
I mean, yeah.
To just be like, just be like, you know what, Okarun, forget it.
Yeah, but
he got snacks from 7-Eleven.
The other thing,
or,
though,
or Family Mart. There we go. Hey,
the other thing, though, I think that is drawing her to him,
Mhm.
which is confusing to her,
Mhm.
is that even though it's clear that he cares about her because he was like sticking up for her and he was trying to talk to her and he's working out for her,
Mhm.
there's also an element where he's like, fine, like whatever, you know what I mean? Like he's not following her around like a little puppy.
Mhm.
He likes her, but he's not like, okay, yeah, whatever you want. He's still, when she acts a certain way, he's like, all right, bye. Like,
Mhm.
and I think there's something about that that's also drawing her to him.
Mhm.
Like, and I think she has probably conflicting feelings about it because she's like, I don't really like, I don't think I like him. And this is obviously not the kind of guy that she would like, but there's, but all the jealousy that she gets, like, and just the need to, like, I miss him when he's not around kind of thing. Like it's slowly building. I agree. Like I think it's not strong that she would, but I think if he was like just straight up like, let's go on a date, she probably would be like, I don't know, because she's still conflicted.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's interesting because it's really interesting show.
But that one episode with the mom.
Oh yeah. That made everybody
my
cry.
gosh.
That made everybody cry.
At first I was like, what is happening? Which happens. That happens a lot on this show, this whole series, like the whole season. I'm like, there's many times where I'm like, what is going on? Because it does get weird. But that episode was heartbreaking. I was just like, oh my gosh.
Like, and also had a problem with those 2 episodes because it's almost like we're getting into short story territory. It didn't even though there was a tie-in, a real tie-in to the main characters of the show at some point, it still was just like, this is just so random. And it doesn't just, why is this?
Yeah.
It'd be different if like that was the direction of the show, where all of the yokais have this kind of weird side background kind of demon slayer thing, right?
I think that's what it is.
But it's like, no, it's just like this just one.
No, it's 100% random.
Well, I think
it seems like
it was alluded. So the first yokai we technically see is Turbo Granny, and it's alluded to that she has a rough background because of how she was formed, and then when she was like killed, you saw the girls come out of her because she was protecting those girls because they were SA'd. So that's why it was alluded to that most of the yokai have bad backstories, and this is just the first one we're seeing.
Oh, okay.
Essentially, because it's a Demon Slayer effect. Let's be real. When you kill a demon, you got to see their backstory, and it's usually sad. So I mean, like, I think that's what it is, and she's just the first one we're gonna see at the moment.
But we had. How many did they fight? 3?
Yokai, I think they fought. So the sumo wrestler wasn't a yokai; it was an alien.
No, that was alien.
I think 2, right?
There was one at the school. The aliens were at the school too, though. But was that all alien?
That was all aliens.
I just feel like so I get what you're saying, but I feel like the fact that there was only one in all of these episodes does make it feel more random.
It does. Yes.
You see what I'm saying? It's because it's just one. It's not. It wasn't 2. It wasn't every single one. It was just the one. So it's just like.
And I think that's why I think them having I think they should have had a 24 episode season, because it would have made more sense.
Yeah.
Because you would have gotten possibly another backstory, which would have probably changed your mind. Like, oh, okay, this is happening consistently.
Yeah.
Because as a manga reader, I'm like, darn, I can't really say anything because I don't want to spoil, because I know what's coming up next. But they do it. I think it did need at least 24 episods.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would have been better if they stretched this out a little bit more, because it did feel kind of random. It did, and that's the thing. I feel like we're watching Star Trek Next Generation sometimes.
AT&G?
Because it doesn't always feel linear. It feels like you're just jumping from one thing to the next, and this other weird thing's happening, and now this weird thing's happening, and so it does feel like that. But I still think at the end of the day, it was that, and I don't know how else to word it, but I think it's that human element that I'm drawn to. Like there's something about the relationships and this like humanness that you start seeing develop and come out more, which he tends to not really care about. That's not what Genesis is really like drawn to. He's not like, oh, that was emotional, I really felt that. He's not like that. So I can see why you were like, meh.
I was just like, because I think the other thing with that situation too was they didn't explain everything that went on there, and they took time to that situation with the actual mom, and had the little girl.
Yeah.
So you took all of that time to introduce those characters. And made us care about the characters, and then you still didn't really show what happened. You still didn't show what happened. So it's just like
that episode. I had to explain to a lot of my friends because they were like, "It was sad, but what happened?" So I had to explain, because in the manga it's different.
Yeah.
In the manga, she's a sex worker. In the manga, she knows she's a sex worker, because in the beginning, when she wakes up with the timer and you see money, that's what she was doing to get extra money.
Yeah.
in the manga, when she's looking at the dress, you know, of course, that's the dress she's wearing when she's a yokai now. But the money she takes, it's the envelope she was supposed to give the Yakuza. No one knows it's the Yakuza. That's who came into her house because she owed money to them. So that's why she was working all those extra jobs. So when she took the money out of the envelope, that was the money she was supposed to give to her, but she decided to buy the dress, and that's what got her into trouble.
Yeah, they ain't saying none of that.
And no, and then after that,
hold on. Where's Grace Saiyaman when you need him?
I know, right? Where's DBZ? But right after that, when she goes on the roof, when she's dancing, those lights, she's on the roof. So when she jumps she's jumping off a roof. That's what happens.
Oh.
So she's dancing, you see the lights, and when she jumps off and you see the lights and stuff, that's her hitting the floor, committing suicide.
Oh my gosh.
And also, last thing, towards the end, when it comes to the daughter's also, she's passed away. That's why they both go. And that's why when, I forget her name, Ira, she's like, I hope both of these souls move on. The daughter died that night. Like, they took the daughter, but it's explained better in the manga, honestly.
I wouldn't even word it as they explained it better in the manga. They explained it in the manga, and they did not explain it at all in the anime.
I wish they would have done that.
Yeah, I think it was more because it was editing again, like going back to like the Loli thing, all that type of stuff. They edit things out because the anime has gotten so bigger in the States. So they're like, all right, we're going to allude to all this.
Well, I just felt like it was at the end of the day. I just felt like it was a whole wasted episode.
Yeah, well, now it kind of does feel like that now that I know.
Now
all
that you
this.
know the extra stuff, yeah.
I'm
yeah,
like,
that's a whole, but me looking at it, it was like there's things missing here.
yeah,
There's things missing. It's not
Yeah.
that it necessarily. It's not even that it didn't make sense to me. It was just like there are things missing here. Clearly, there are elements missing here, and not only are things missing, we don't know exactly what happened to the little girl. Right. It still kind of left the door open to, is the little girl still alive? Is the little girl somewhere else? Blah, 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 whatever. And it kind of introduced this weird storyline with Ira, right? But they didn't really go into that either. Like you just kind of put it out there a little bit. Oh, whatever happened with the mom and the dad and blah, 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 blah. It's just like, I was just like, this is just.
Yeah, they did a good enough job for you to feel that pain. But I agree. I didn't really quite understand what happened. And so this like makes a lot more sense. And that's very disappointing. I really wish they would have included that.
And that's what a lot of my friends said. They were like, man, you explain it now. It makes me feel like I'm still sad because it happened, but now I'm disappointed because now I have to go read the manga. But then it's like, I'd rather watch it in anime format and blah, blah, blah. But that's they take stuff out. And I guess that's also got me thinking about it. I have a little bit more context on some of the episodes.
Yeah.
I never watched the episodes blind like I'm doing Solo Leveling. I watched it after I read the manga because after the first episode, so I was caught up. So I know all this extra stuff that you guys might not necessarily have.
Well, and everybody says, so many people that I've talked to, like, well, whatever, that maybe not even talked to, people always say, and this is more from an American standpoint, but I think it goes the same way. They always say the book is better than the movie because there's so much more detail in the books. And it's probably the same thing with manga. Well, this is a perfect example, but generally speaking, so yeah, it probably helps because you have so much more context. So
yeah, like for Gigi, for example, the kid that's running around in the first episode, I think, with his like making fun of her. That's a Gigi.
Oh, really?
That's Gigi. Yeah. Like nobody, like a lot of it.
Well, they said that. Yeah.
Oh, I guess I missed that.
Yeah, it was quick, but they showed it. They went back and they showed it when he showed up, and they had to have they had the conversation about it.
I don't know. I don't think I connected it. Like, I don't think I realized when I was watching it that was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, I am excited to see season 2 and how it goes.
Excited. Woo.
Yeah.
You heard her say excited?
That's good. That's good.
I'm by saying excited about some anime.
Yeah, I want to see what happens here. And I'll never get tired. Like, I will never skip this intro. I love the intro.
Oh, they're going to have to top themselves unless they're going to carry this over the season 2.
I mean, sometimes I just feel like you just need to. Now, I know it's a money thing.
Oh.
It's a Sony this and that, and it's Sony music in Japan and blah, blah, blah. But, like, for example, that Solo Leveling, season 2.
That one. Do you not like that one?
it don't go hard like season 1.
Really?
No.
I like the second one way better.
No.
Really?
Yeah,
I'd have to go back and
Like
look. I
I just
remember.
feel like the first, it's just like it fits. It fits so perfect, and this one is just like, I was like, what is this? What is this made for exactly?
I didn't really listen to the whole first one. I just listened to kind of the beginning, but I like the second one. Also, when it comes to the DanDaDan soundtrack, blame Creepy Nuts. They're the ones that made this one.
Blame Creepy Nuts.
Creepy Nuts, that's the name. They also made Mashal Muscle
Mhm.
season 2's opening, which went viral.
Mm.
So since that went viral and brought the anime up so much,
Mhm.
they did the same thing with DanDaDan. So that band has done a lot of good intros,
That's awesome.
which just keep topping the charts.
But
So.
but like I said, don't get it twisted. A good intro,
Mm-hmm.
a good intro don't make a good anime.
Nope.
I'm just
But we
saying.
can give it credit. We can definitely still give
Oh yeah, it's dope.
It piqued our interest. That's all I needed to do.
Yeah.
It's dope. Anything else? I'm not rushing y'all out of here, but
I can't think of anything else.
you'll think of soon as I hit stop recording, you're gonna think about it. You're like, oh, I forgot to start.
Was there anything else that you can think of that was made much more clear in the manga that wasn't really made clear here? Or was
I don't think so.
Okay.
It possibly just the
Why would they leave that out?
Mm.
Like, why would you?
Trash.
Why would you convey everything else like the same except that? It's like you've already it's already taboo from the beginning with the SA thing.
yeah,
So
I
why
know.
would you leave out?
Because I feel like I don't know if I'm remembering the chain of events properly, but I feel like you could have played that out a little bit longer, made a couple more episodes out of that. The underwater stuff happened after that. I just felt like you could have done that. Maybe you could have shortened the high school underwater stuff and then showed with Gigi showing up, and then that could have been your cliffhanger. Of her being embarrassed and or him being jealous, and then that could have been your cliffhanger, considering my theory that as of right now the whole storyline is just their relationship. So the cliffhanger should be their relationship. Like that should be like the thing that's hanging in the balance for next season.
Yeah.
Not her possibly being SA'd again.
Yeah.
Or what? Not again, but you know what I mean.
This time in the pool.
Yeah.
This time, it's I mean, like, yeah.
Or whatever it was, high spring, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't have anything. We usually go around. I forget what we need to start podding more.
Would you recommend this to?
Would you recommend this anime to an average Joe? Average Joe meaning somebody who doesn't necessarily watch anime.
No.
Would you recommend this to a person who watches anime?
Yes.
I'm the same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. I think I would say no to both. I think I would say no to both. I definitely know people who will like this. Right? But like for example, I wouldn't say he watches anime, but he watches anime more than normal. Ray. Like I would not recommend this to Ray.
No, I wouldn't recommend this to Ray.
But I also wouldn't classify him as somebody who doesn't watch anime. Like he does, but you know what I mean? So it's just like I wouldn't.
He has to be very particular about it because he's very, very busy. Right? So he'll watch it with his kid.
There you go. So
that makes more sense though.
Now I will say this. Have you ever seen When They Cry? Okay. I freaking love that. Love it. We only saw, I guess, season 1, right? Because we like dubbed.
Well, we saw the original. I think they made a sequel, but they never dubbed it.
Yeah, they never dubbed it, so we didn't see that. But
like everything that happened after.
But this is the thing: if I was talking to somebody who watched anime, my go-to is always like, "You need to watch When They Cry. It is so freaking good." And then I'm done. Like I don't say anything. There's no caveat. There's no nothing. It's freaking good. Watch it. This show, I will say that I would be like, if you're looking for something to watch, check it out. It's kind of weird though. Like I would probably still add something. So it's not that I love this and think it's the best thing ever, but I ended up liking it.
So, I mean, so I'm not with this statement. I'm not accusing you of anything.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
But this is an anime that I can see if you are on drugs
Yeah.
You would love this anime. This will be your favorite anime of all time. If you do drugs and then watch this. This seems like a stoner anime. I don't know if that's a real thing or if I just made that up.
Oh yeah, there's a,
But this just seems like go on a weird trip and watch this and you will have the time of your life.
Yeah, I can see that. It's a little trippy
because of all the
effects and all the different
like that, which makes sense.
And then all the weird yo, am I actually seeing this right now? Like, yeah, you are a big alien sumo wrestler.
No, I have a friend that watches it in VR and he showed me his VR thing and I watched it and I'm like, yeah, people that were high would really like this because it's just all over the place.
Yeah.
So I mean, like that makes like Fully Cooley.
Yeah, same with Fully Cooley. Like if you get high and watch Fully Cooley, you'll probably love it. But it's just like me sitting there and I'm like, this is weird. Like I feel like almost after every episode, I left thinking, what am I watching?
Yeah.
That's how I left almost every episode. Like,
and that's what's funny about it.
What am I
watching? That's the point because of how the creator made it. The creator, he actually is the assistant for the guy that makes Chainsaw Man.
Oh, okay.
So when he left, he wanted to make his own manga, and when he did it, his new assistant was like, "Hey, why don't you just take all your favorite things and just throw it in the anime?" And that's exactly what he did. Okay, so that it makes sense why it feels random because it is. There's no, but the story does like encircle itself later on. So
they better do something.
For sure.
One Piece, 200 episodes in.
I can't do One Piece.
and then it's gonna come around. Okay. All right. Well, y'all ready to wrap up?
Yes.
I don't remember what. I feel like we used to talk about something else before you did the official wrap up. But Glenn, appreciate you coming by.
Yes.
Of course.
Hope you had a good time. Hopefully we can do more.
Yes, for sure.
Thanks for your patience.
Captain America 4.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
All right, that's it for today, guys. Thanks for listening to ANX Gamecast. If you like the show, make sure you like, follow, and hit the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when we release new episodes. See you next time.
Dun, 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 dun.